This is a story about the 7 Bud Lights. There was a cute little queer. He walks into a queer bar just before closing time. He walks up to the bar and sits on the bar stool and says, "Bartender, give me 7 Bud Lights, the beer that Dylan Mullaney is promoting for us homosexuals." The bartender said, "Honey," he pointed at the clock. He said, "Honey, we had last call 5 minutes ago. You're not going to get 7 Bud Lights down before we have to pull them back up." The cute little queer thought for a moment. He said, "I think I'll be all right. Line them up." "Okay, honey." So the bartender, he lined up the 7 Bud Lights. And that cute little queer, he chugged those 7 Bud Lights down in 3 minutes flat. Passed out drunk. Fell off the bar stool on the floor. And the bartender, working in a queer bar, he's queer too, He thought to himself, this opportunity doesn't present itself very often. And he is cute. So he took him out to the back door in the back alley, and he had his way with him. And he went home happy that night. Well, a couple weeks later, the same cute little queer walks into the same queer bar just before closing time again. He walks up to the bar and sits on the bar stool and says, "Bartender, give me 7 Bud Lights." The bartender grinned. "So you're coming right up, sweetheart." So he lined up those 7 Bud Lights. And sure enough, that cute little queer, he chugged those 7 Bud Lights down in 3 minutes flat again. Passed out drunk again. Fell off the bar stool on the floor again. And the bartender, he had shared his experience with the other bartenders and the barkeeps and the waiters in the queer bar. And working in a queer bar, they're all queer, So they all took him out to the back door, into the back alley. And they all had their way with him. And they all went home happy that night. Well, a couple weeks later went by, and the same cute little queer walks up to the same queer bar, walks up to the bar and sits on the bar stool and says, "Bartender, give me 7 Coors Lights." The bartender said, "Well, honey, isn't it supposed to be 7 Bud Lights?" The cute little queer said, "No, Bud Lights gives me a sore asshole."